Well, welcome to What's Broken. Doing a little bit of tune-up or beautifying on my 2002 Safari. Today I'm going to pull the plastic bumper cover off. I don't know how well it shows up, but I've got rust on both sides on the fenders. So I do want to paint this plastic bumper cover, but I also want to dress this a little bit, maybe come up, tape off an inch, sand it. I might coat this area with bed liner and then spray it out with the right color. Apparently, to start, I did cheat and look on the internet. I take out the running lights before taking out the grill. At some point I may take these out and try those headlight restore buffs and wax on this. It's not terrible, but it is a little bit faded. Oh, this grill looks a little, the support for the light is broken. I do want to paint, I think I might paint the whole grill black, maybe later this spring. Get rid of all this chrome. Yeah, just coat it in black. I think it might look a little better. And when I do that, I can address this cracked or broken part. And so it looks like these are 7mm bolts or screws. There's one there. Looks like one in here. I don't know if this one's goes into anything. It just seems to be loose. And I'll see what that's about once I get the grill off. Okay. Well, that was easy. Yeah, this is a little, this one end's a little snookered. Wish I had some crazy glue. I'd probably try using that. So tucked way in under here, you might be able to make out the top of the screw, but I think it's an 8mm head. So I won't be able to really get the camera in to show it when I do this, because it's I turned the tire so I got a little more room. Yeah, it's a little 8mm self-tapping screw. One on each side. Huh. And this one appears to not be there, so I don't have to take it out. Now next, along the top, apparently there's 5 of these little body buttons, or whatever you want to call them. There's 1, 2, that wire and harness is kind of pinched in between. Deal with that after. Three. Number 4. And the last one on top. So there's 5 of those buttons, came out easy. And there's 3 of them underneath. That's 1. Two of them. And the last one. Now in theory, this bumper should just come off. Or the bumper cover, I should say. And there it is. Still got some metal. So I'll be running around with it looking a little scabbed up in the front end for a few days. Yeah, some of the paint's kind of flaking off. I think it's a bad spot on these, or this isn't all that uncommon. I think I'll sand that up a bit. Maybe tape it off and just put some of that bed liner on there. Might make it last a little longer, and then blend in some of the proper paint. And I noticed on the other side there's a little bracket of sorts that fits onto this, that the front edge of the lower edge of the fender is tied into, but the bracket's missing. So I'll go online, see what that's about, and maybe I'll just end up tacking in something that I can then bolt this to. Nothing too major. So to repair these two little drill holes, I just grabbed about a 1/2 inch bit. I just want to concave out the top of it a little bit. Whoop. Not that much. Shit. Okay, plan B. That'll provide a rough enough surface. See if I can be a little more gentle on this one. Shit. It caught. So to take off the rough edges, I'm just going to round it out a bit. That works. Probably what I should have used in the first place. So I'm going to mix up some epoxy, and just to provide a little backing, I got this aluminum duct tape. Put a couple of layers back there. Do the same to this one. This just stops the epoxy from continually being pushed through. Won't need a whole bunch. Using this quick JB weld, it seems to work on a multitude of problems. I think it sets in about 6 minutes, but takes, I don't know, 6 or 12 hours to cure. Yeah, I'll probably need 2 coats because this sort of tends to shrink a little bit. So I'll let that one set up and probably do another one tomorrow. Now for this broken grill. See if I can't get some of this put back together. Might even make use of more of this foil tape. There we go. Get rid of a bit of the excess. This will just sort of hold stuff in place until that epoxy sets. Then I'll just leave it on there because you're never going to see it. Stuff is getting pretty tacky, so I better work a little faster. Try to get it crammed into some of these crevices. I'll mix up a little bit more. It's only about +9 in the garage, so that might be slowing down the reaction time on this epoxy a bit. Can work with it a little bit longer. Yeah, it feels like everything sort of just popped back into place. Gotta love JB Weld. Or any other two-part epoxy that does the trick. Okay, I'll let that set a bit, and then I can put the grill back in. So I think most of the epoxy has set. And then I went over it and wrapped it all with this aluminum tape, just because it's fun to play with. So wherever there was some rust showing on the body itself, not the bumper, I buffed it down and covered it with some trim clad primer, just to slow down the rust. And I remembered I had a chunk of that aluminum window screen or bug screen, and I had straightened out off camera. I straightened out a few of there were some bent over fins on the aluminum oil cooler, so I just took a a razor knife and very gently opened them back up so air will flow through. And then, like I say, I remembered I had some of this aluminum bug screen, so I fit it into place and zip strapped it. So that should prevent any of the big bugs from denting up the, or rocks even, from denting up the oil cooler anymore. I'm just going to take a minute and put the grill back on, and then I can put the running lights or park lights back in place. And once the bumper is ready, I'm going to sand it down and paint it. Not 100% sure yet, but I found this. It was the purple paint, metallic purple, from my what did I have? A 2001 Mazda B4000 little truck, basically a little Ford Ranger. But it was quite a pretty color, and it might correspond okay with the bronze on the Safari. I'm just trying to decide whether or not to use it to paint the bumpers, you know, the bumper plastic, because I have most of a can, and I sold the truck, so I won't be using it again for that purpose. Anyhow, I'll kind of get set up here and put that grill back in place. Better put it right side up. Yeah, maybe I'll get the other side first and then figure out how this one, that one in there was sort of just loose in there, so have to figure out why it isn't lining up. Might have to drill a new hole. That epoxy stiffened it up quite a bit. That can't be the hole down there, is it? Given that this corner was the one that was crunched, that might be why they might have never got that quite lined up. I think what I'll do is I'm going to drill a new hole for this one. Let's try this one. There we go. Proven to be a bit of a pain. The bit size looks correct. And put a little grease on the end of this, help hold it in the socket. Oh, there we go. Back you up a little bit. Just going to turn the lights on, make sure that the park lights and signal lights are still good. Other than that, that's probably enough for today. Come back and I'll sand these down and put a little bit more on, and then rough that up and give it a coat of paint of some sort. So I popped the grill back off. I got thinking last night, I'm going to take this take the GMC decal off and sand it up and paint it with bed liner. Just got to put the camera down for a minute while I pop it out. I'm just going to take some, I think it's 100 or 120 grit, and rough everything up. Okay, I think I'll go spray it with some brake clean, maybe tape off these threads. Then I'll bring it back and we'll spray it up with the good old bed liner. Okay, blew out all the brake cleaner. Should be nice and dry. It's all sanded up. I think I'll paint it. I'll let that tack up for a few minutes and hit it again. Okay, now for the second coat. Well, that should do it. I'll let it dry and then see how it looks. A little bracket, I think it came from the top, that the front of the fender bolted to is missing. So I think I'm going to sort of make something up. I'll drill a hole in this and then bend it. At a bit of an angle. Then clean this surface up and tack weld it in place. Use a little leg screw to secure it. Got a little 10 mil screw, see if it'll thread into this. I think I'll go one drill bit size bigger. Hopefully this will sort of self-tap. Yeah, it should work. Noise alert. Just clamp it in place with a set of the old vice grips. That should do it. Okay, I got the buzz box turned on. Clamp the ground and make a couple of sparks here. We'd have to turn the heat range to low. This little bracket's pretty lightweight. And so is that metal behind it. Kind of blowing through it. And try to fill in a couple of the holes I blew through. Well, that'll all be covered up by the bumper, so I'm not going to worry about it. I think I'll do a little sanding and then hit all this with some bed liner. Yeah, to get these reflectors out, I just got a pair of needle nose and squeeze the little clip together with the little fingers, and that's it. And then they just pop back in afterwards. Oop, the bed liner might have got a little plugged up. There we go. I'll let that tack up a little bit. Once it's dry, then I think I'll probably go to the other side and tape it off, sand it as well, and hit it with some bed liner. Then I can button this back up. I do have to paint this whole fender and the hood because the paint they used, these were both crunched in an accident. And the paint they used is just a little bit off from the rest of the van, so I picked up a bunch of spray bombs and I'll just tune it up with that one of these days. And there's side number 2 done. I'm going to let this dry. I might throw some heat on it because it's only about 9 above today, Celsius. And then I want to hit this with a little bit of the bronze paint. Let that tack up a little bit and then I can take all the masking tape off. So I'm just going to do a little beautifying on the front bumper and the grille, warming things up a little bit. It's supposed to get to +10 today. Currently the garage is about +8, so I'll leave the heater on while I do a bit of light sanding and scuffing. I'm not going to go overly crazy on this because, you know, it is what it is. It's a 23-year-old vehicle, so. But the front bumper's kind of scarred up, you know, paint's pushed off it here and there. The back bumper looks in good condition, so I don't know that I'll cover it. I popped out the other end already of these little reflectors, but I'll include how to pop them out on this video here in a minute. So anyhow, I'll get you set up in a camera and commence sanding. Yeah, to get these reflectors out, I just got a pair of needle nose. You squeeze the little clip together, or the little fingers, and that's it. And then they just pop back in afterwards. I re-epoxied those, put a little more epoxy in those divots, the holes that I repaired. I'm just gonna use some, probably about 80 grit to take it down a bit. I'm just going to lightly go over everything with some 100 grit, just to rough up the surface, give the bed liner a little bit of something to bite into. working a little quicker than hand sanding, so we'll get this done and then wipe it down with some acetone. So I pretty much took the sheen off of everything, put some tooth in it, so to speak. Just going to do a little work on this plastic chrome, and I think I'll use some 80 grit because I'm not getting through paint, so I just want to put some good striations or tooth in that surface so the bed liner will grip to it. I talked with a buddy of mine who does vintage car restoration, and yeah, he suggested you just need to rough this up. You don't actually have to take it off, so give it a try. I don't know how well it'll show up, but the scratches in where I sanded to where I haven't sanded, yeah, it left some nice little grooves for the paint to stick in. So I'll finish this up and then I'm going to wipe everything down with acetone, and I'll bring you back when I start spraying. I got the front grille all taped and masked off, and the front bumper has been all wiped down, so I'm just going to start hitting with first coat of bed liner. This is a can left over from last year, partial can, and it's not spraying as well as it used to.
Yeah, this one isn't working well at all, so I'm going to grab one of the new ones I just bought this morning.
Yeah, let's see how a new can does. Huh. better. Yeah, these are clogging up. I've had pretty good luck with this duplicolor stuff in the past, so and it's about 15 degrees, so it should be warm enough. Okay, so that's what one would call an exercise in futility. I didn't video it because that Canadian Tire Duplicolor bed liner, it would spray for 3 to 5 seconds and then clog up, and I would clean out the nozzle and reshake the can, clean out the nozzle with acetone, run a little poker through it, blow it out, spray again for 5 to 10 seconds, then it'd clog up. So yeah, I won't be buying that stuff again. I normally have bought in the Princess Auto, but I thought I'd save $1 a can and try this stuff, and well, you get what you pay for, I guess. Anyhow, enough trash talk. I also didn't videotape because YouTube probably wouldn't have allowed some of the language I was using. These are all coated though. It's just tacking up and drying a bit. Hopefully it'll look fairly consistent when it's all done, because it was a rather sporadic paint job. But I'm going to start by putting the GM decal back on, and I'll let it dry a little more, then I'll turn the camera back on and bolt it back on the front of the van, have a look, see what it looks like. And this has 4 of these little sort of tin or lightweight speed nuts that you just flip this forward. Right, that one might be a little stripped out. That or it's not biting yet. Oh, there we go. Now hopefully this will look as good in reality as it sort of did in my mind's eye when I decided to do it. If not, I guess I can always buy a new grill and repaint the bumper. Yeah, Looks good so far. Well, I'll pull the van in and start popping these two pieces back into place. I took the opportunity the other day to buff off some of the rust, and I had part of a can of satin black, so I recoated the bumper. Set this in place. Pop back in these buttons. And these should just pop into place. There's one side. Get the buttons underneath popped in. Actually, I think I've got some new ones, or better ones. I'm just going to take a minute and grab them and put them in place. Yeah, I bought a kit the other day from Princess Auto with a whole bunch of these, and may as well use them. And the last one. Yeah, that should line up now. Again, at some point I think I'll take these out and do a headlight restore on them. But for now, it is what it is. Well, I think that turned out about the way I thought it would. Just looks a little bit meaner, you know, for a minivan. Hope you enjoyed this, and we'll maybe see you on the next one. I got a few more things I want to do to this. One of it being fixing some rust down on the what do you call them, quarter panels? No, kickboards? Anyway, down on the bottom. And then bed liner the bottom and repaint it. Can't really see here, but along the front edge above the window there's some bubbling. So I want to buff and grind that out and fill it in with epoxy, and then bed liner and matching paint. Those may be on this video or they may be on the next one. Bye for now.